that Dreamville is in fact surpassing TDE. And if you don't know about Dreamville, Dreamville is J. Cole, TDE is Kendrick Lamar, SZA I think is still with TDE.
Top Dog Entertainment.
Top Dog and the crew. What do we think? What are our thoughts?
Let's have this conversation.
I think they surpassing them and they gonna keep going. Cause they got
Why do you
Cole.
say that?
Because they got Cole. Here's the difference between TDE and Dreamville. TDE wasn't Kendrick's. Kendrick didn't run TDE. They lost Kendrick. They lost they lost Kendrick. There's no recovering after losing Kendrick.
Now how did they lose him? What happened? Why is he separated?
He started his own thing.
It's not that he's separated. His contract is over and he's deciding to move on to his own label, which is pretty much what a label is really supposed to do. They give you all the resources you need to become successful. And once you fulfill your contract, you got the option of either staying, or he probably gained so much knowledge. He's like, I can go on and do something on my own. I still believe
that's valid.
You should. I feel like even though he's not part of TDE, that's a TDE branch. I don't think that just because he's quote unquote not with them, don't mean he's not still part of the TDE legacy. You feel me?
He is, but like, it's PF Lang now.
PG Lang.
PG Lang, that's what it is. PG
Now,
Lang.
Is that the name of his label?
Yeah.
Yeah. They do some cool stuff.
What does the PG Lang stand for?
I have no idea, but they do cool things. They do a lot more things on the business end. Like they create a lot of cool advertisement. They do make some help. They make a really good music videos. They do a lot more of like, they're more of promoting artists instead of just musicians or rappers. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I truly believe, to me, I think this is just Dreamville's moment. I don't think this is TDE. This is Dreamville surpassing them. I do believe they are very much on the same level. But I believe TDE has a formula. I think they have a more diverse portfolio than Dreamville. I think even if the rapping side, they're not as good, you still have the R&B. You still got R&B folk doing their thing. And even on the rap end, okay, if Isaiah Rashad, J-Rock, who's that nigga? Isaiah Rashad, J-Rock, Doechii. I think if like Dreamville
isn't
doesn't have
Sir
a female,
under TDE?
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah. So that's what I meant on the R&B tip. I feel like Dreamville hasn't tapped into the female rappers yet. TD is already doing that. And I
Dreamville's
feel like
I think they got one.
And I also say I think TD right now, they're on their second tier artists. Like Dreamville's kind of still in their first. Like TD now is building a whole nother second tier to come up. Probably 2025 and on, they really gonna be popping. I feel like TD literally ruled the last decade. If we talking TD versus Dreamville, right? So
well, Dreamville also didn't come out till halfway through the decade, so they had a head start.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. But
I think this is very valid. I think this is kind of like, I feel like every label has their moment where it's like, oh, that was your time. Like we could all think about Bad Boy. They had their time where it was like, hey, you couldn't get anything musically done or touched by gold unless that shit went through Bad Boy. Rock Nation, Jay-Z, he had his moment where it's like, hey, that was, everybody was throwing up the rock. Like everybody wanted to be signed by the rock. So I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you said, Tyler, I think TDE, did it have its moment? Absolutely. It had that first tier. Now they're in that transition point where they're like, all right, now we've evolved these tier one friends or artists. Now we're on to our next batch. Now, I will say that transition part is probably feeling like they fell off, but it's a transition. They're prepping this next batch of artists.
We still only got, mind you, SZA is popping out here with like 2-3 songs out and a couple features. Like we still,
there's some hard ass features. Her shit go crazy. I think the SZA feature goes wild.
I feel like Ari is very smart to drop now Okay, she gonna get her moment because when SZA gives us a project, it's over for really anybody else dropping R&B for a while. Like Control, folk will listen to Control for what other R&B album was we listening to? Like, I just feel like a lot of the artists really is just building and developing right now. Like,
I still think that TDE is surpassing them though, even though at this point, like if it's a race, Dreamville is taking the lead.
Well, let me ask you something, because you're only as strong as your weakest link, right?
Oh, don't.
Weakest link at Dreamville.
Omen.
Damn, that was kind of quick.
We know who the weakest link is. It's Omen. Everybody knows.
Okay, who's the weakest link on TD?
Gotta think about that.
Oh, that's hard.
I haven't thought about
that. But Tyler's making a good point. The fact that we got to sit and think about it is like
they have a lot of artists.
I'm gonna say this.
I
believe Absol's the weakest link on TD.
I was thinking that. But
so tell me this: who would you rather listen to?
Honestly, these are
Absol.
These
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd much rather listen to Absol.
In my opinion, neither. But yeah, obviously Absol.
No, but you have to pick one.
Yeah,
it would be
Absol. Yeah, you're right. I still think TDE is being surpassed at the moment, for sure. By Dreamville.
I think this is my thing about Dreamville. I think that Dreamville is kind of like the little baby of the labels currently. And what I mean by that is Lil Baby is somebody who was like, when he first came out, niggas was like, okay, another mumble rapper. But he studied and he worked and he really crafted, and you can hear the elevation in Lil Baby's projects, right? You can hear like, he's finding pockets that he couldn't find before. His words, he's actually making sense. He's actually saying some shit. I feel like Dreamville is on that approach. Like every project they produce has like elevated another level, right? And so I don't want to take away from Dreamville. Like I definitely think they're like on the up and up. But what I will say is I feel like TDE, they're more so like we're slow roasting. You know what I mean? Like it's like, they'll give you a little niblet here and a niblet there, but they make you want it because they don't put it out so often. Prime example, SZA. SZA fucking dropped a whole fucking album that she already fucking dropped with fucking 2 new songs and was like, eat this.
And look,
like who the fuck? And we ate that shit up, licked our fingers, and was like, we have
anniversary. More. Talk about 5 year
5
anniversary.
Year,
ain't shit. 5 years ain't no damn.
I'm still not over that shit.
And by the way,
crazy.
I know you speak of Kendrick. I mean, I know you speak of Cole. You know what I'm saying? And that's fair. But let's say this, okay? Now, Kendrick has left, but we can still refer back to Kendrick's old projects as being under TDE, correct?
No, but here's my thing.
Kendrick got 3 albums. Kendrick got 3 albums on the top 200 that's been on the top 200 for over 500 weeks.
But now you're comparing.
Good Kid, Mad City been on the top 200 for 500.
But you're talking.
I'm talking in the moment. In the moment, Good Kid, Mad City is been on the top 200 for over 500 weeks. It is still in the top 200. Damn, still.
You gotta admit that's crazy, Jalen. That's crazy.
But
that's not normal.
But that's my thing. But I'm saying, but here's my thing. I'm saying as the labels themselves.
Okay, in its entirety, basically.
In the moment, is surpassing TDE. Yes, I'm not saying TDE is the race is over. I'm not saying TDE is done. I'm not saying they down for the count. But in the moment, Dreamville is taking them steps ahead. They're surpassing TDE.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
I know.
How can they be surpassing if people are still listening to all of their stuff?
But I'm talking about in the moment with everything with the label itself. I feel like Dreamville is finally taking their steps to surpass TDE.
They're taking their steps.
I think he's.
I think that the steps ahead. Like the steps are going ahead of TDE. That's what I mean.
What I'm saying is the portfolio that TDE has put out has been so good that yes, Dreamville has been taking steps, but TDE is pretty freaking high up there, bro.
And like that's why it's impressive that Dreamville is surpassing them at the moment.
And I'm saying
at the moment
they're getting close.
Oh, brother.
I feel like you're trying to say that I'm thinking TDE ain't doing shit.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Like this is my thing. They are TDE has been cooking, right? They've been in the kitchen whipping that shit, right? Dreamville has been the sous chef, kind of like cutting up the garnish and shit, and hasn't been saying nothing. Now TDE is like, hey, I'm gonna go take a cigarette break. I'll be right back. And now Dreamville is now the head chef and really cooking up some shit. It's not to say the head chef's not here. They're just out on a cigarette. That's exactly what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, Khadijah.
I hear what you're saying.
Thank you. Boom.
Let me explain my rebuttal. Right?
Oh, brother.
Dreamville is very good at chicken and waffles. Right? They're really good at chicken and waffles. Right? You got TDE, who also has really good chicken and waffles, and everybody like, damn, Dreamville chicken and waffles better than TDE. That's fine, because TDE not only has chicken and waffles, these niggas got omelets. These niggas got some other shit that's fucking fire. So even though they might be good in this lane, TDE has artists doing so many other things. But that's
besides the fact of what we're saying.
They can't reach.
They can still he's not hearing us.
You're not listening to him. You're not listening. He's not getting on the mic. We're not saying
you on the mic and not on the headphone.
Yeah, you're not listening. We're not saying that TDE don't have everything available. That's fire. We're saying at this moment, Dreamville, like Khadijah said, Dreamville's having their moment. Dreamville slowly is surpassing TDE. Now, listen. If TDE were to start having their artists start rolling out, is a different story. Now it's like, oh,
they're gonna come back TDE, in from their cigarette.
TDE's gonna remind them. But at the moment, while TDE's chilling and being quiet and sitting, they're being surpassed. This is, like you said, they're strategic. This is a strategy. This is a strategy. They're letting Dreamville surpass them. They're letting Dreamville surpass them. So when they come out this heat. Boom,
so we're not taking ultimately, because let's tie this bitch up with a bow. Ultimately, what we're saying is we're not taking nothing away from TDE. TDE is Chef's Kiss, but Dreamville is Chef's Kiss right now.
May I? First of all,
last word on this before the deacon come out.
Jay is pretty much saying TDE ain't been doing much right now. Is that fair? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And Dreamville been heavy. Now you telling me a Kendrick Lamar album coming out mean TDE ain't been doing nothing?
That's one thing.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh, bro.
Let me finish.
Hey, I've never seen
you telling me that Kendrick Lamar album ain't TDE doing nothing? You telling me Isaiah Rashad's album wasn't doing nothing? You telling me SZA singles wasn't doing nothing? What are we talking? You telling me Doechii wasn't doing nothing? You telling me J-Rock singles wasn't doing nothing?
Nobody knows who Doechii is yet.
Reason wasn't doing nothing?
Who the fuck is Reason? Who is Reason? I don't know.
Practice. We're talking about practice.
Who is Reason?
That's who.
Ain't nobody know who
I want to yell too.
Doechii's still on the come up. Kendrick is the biggest thing they did. Isaiah Rashad's big, but he had to take a step back. Niggas thought he was gay. It fucked him up. That's all I'm saying. You're not listening. Look. They drop shit, but everything that Dreamville has been dropping has been fire. And they're surpassing TDE. TDE ain't been doing nothing. Isaiah Rashad album came out last year. That's 2021. I'm talking 2022.
Look, you get my man Jalen just a little hype. Look at the vein in the boy's forehead. We're going to move on.
You're not listening.
Can the church say amen? God damn it.
I love all these projects we're talking about. I love them all.
Woo! What a turn. See how Tyler always gets just a nigga's spirit bubble. You know what I mean? The shit that take me is this motherfucker be cool, calm, and collected. Meanwhile, you about to fucking burst the vein.
I'm upset.
This nigga's like, okay. Look at him, cool, calm, and collected. This asshole.
Golly.
Wow.
By the way,
episode 100, we getting spicy.
By the way, J-Rock coming soon. I'm just saying, J-Rock coming soon. Be on the list.
But that don't mean nothing until he drop.
Talking about who was Reason. That just means you ain't in the loop, bruh. That
Khadijah,
just
you
mean
know who
you
Reason
really
is?
ain't listening.
Wait, no. Khadijah, you know who Reason is?
Reason.
Here's my thing, Khadijah. Here's my thing, Khadijah. If the nigga loved Dreamville so much, he would have known who the fuck Reason is. My thing I know the nigga ain't been listening.
I know who Reason is. I'm saying who the fuck is Reason, as in not everybody know who the fuck Reason is. Prime example,
not everybody know who
Khadijah,
the fuck.
you a casual fan.
You know who Earth Gang is?
Yeah. That's some niggas from Atlanta.
JID.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
He's also on Dreamville. Come on, don't play with me.
By the way, did you like that?
And I'm not gonna hold you. I just feel like I'm more, if I'm going based off of I'm a music lover, who do I have more in my library? It would have to be Dreamville shit.
Okay.
Being transparent.
Okay.
Being transparent. Now, this is not to say TDE don't come out with that heat. They do. But is it in my library as frequent as Dreamville? I'm gonna say no.
But here's what I'm gonna say. Because
but I just want to name for the listeners. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying I have noticed that I rock with more Dreamville artists than I do TDE.
And this all I'm saying, right?
And it's because SZA want to drop some shit.
I totally
the same shit 5 years later.
I totally understand what Jay is saying, because right now Dreamville is dropping a lot of heat, right?
Hey, tune into Ari's EP before the album. See what I'm saying? Ari gave us a fucking shrimp spin dip. She was like, "Go ahead and eat this real quick, because I'm in the stew." Meanwhile, SZA what? SZA's like, listen to the same tight ass album.
All I'm saying is, it's a moment.
And if you're wondering if I hate you,
but do you,
Jalen?
I don't know lyrics.
All I'm saying, fuck you. All I'm saying is, it's a moment. It's a moment, and
in this moment, there's surpassed TDE.
There's not a surpass. It's just a moment. TDE is still.
We'll see. No. We'll see, Jalen. After these projects get dropped, we'll revisit this conversation.
Okay.
Because I feel like the music got to talk for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. Love that for us. Alrighty, moving on. What's the next topic? Okay, so the next thing.